Okay, so welcome to part one of this new, I guess, mini series, if you want to call it, of my home theater. I guess not rebuild, but kind of like a upgrade. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this video yet. But if you've been following the channel, a few months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, I made a video talking about how I was going to be upgrading my screen. And as you can see, the screen is gone, so that time has come. And I've been talking about it for kind of a couple years, something that I wanted to do. But in that video, I mentioned that I was going to be upgrading to Seymour Screen Excellence screen from a silver ticket, non-acoustically transparent to a Seymour Screen Excellence acoustically transparent screen. So this is just going to be kind of updating you guys, kind of like a vlog. It's not going to be anything fancy. There's not going to be a bunch of fancy B-roll. It's not going to be scripted or anything like that. I just want to kind of show you guys along the way what I'm doing. So let's talk about it. Just to give you an idea of what you're looking at. So the room that I'm standing in now, it's one big room, but originally this room here was sectioned off. There was a wall, and then there was another room behind it, which was the media room, which was very small. So I blew out the wall and just made it one big room. But this room was actually a office, or kind of like a bedroom slash office, whatever I wanted to make it into when I moved in. So there was a closet here. And originally when I looked at the floor plan, I was like, oh, I'll just cover that up with the screen. And then my goal was to blow out this entire wall, but I'll talk about this here in a little bit. There's a stud here, and then there's a couple studs on the other side that just prevented me from doing that. However, I got some JTR 210 HTs, 2025 version, a few months ago, and I did kind of like an initial impressions, but I'm supposed to be reviewing them. But I couldn't review them because I have 3 of them. So it was going to be my LCR, but I couldn't review them because the speaker is huge. And my center channel stand, if I would have put the JTR speaker on the center channel stand horizontally, it would have been in the way of the screen about 3 or 4 inches. So I was like, well, I can't do that. So then I thought, okay, I'll just buy another shorter center channel stand. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that because now I'm going to have 2 stands once I finish reviewing it, and space is limited. So after a while, I thought, you know what, there's a closet behind here. Why don't I just use that as my center channel? I won't be able to put the left and right speakers behind there, but I can put the center channel back there and I'll just get an acoustically transparent screen, and that opens up so many more possibilities as far as reviewing, speakers. So that's what I did. So as you can see, I took the doors off. There were some double doors here. I took the doors off, and I did this today. So I took off the framing so that I could put some wood here, so that because I'm going to have some curtains. And I'm not going to talk too much about that. That's not a real big deal. But I did some prep work before I got the screen. So what I had to do was I had to build a shelf because I didn't want to use a stand behind the screen. So I built a shelf, and I'll try to take some B-roll back here. Built a shelf, put some lights, painted just a little bit, and then I got some acoustic treatment that I need to put more in here. I need to do some more acoustic treatment in here. It's not completely done, but at least the main things are done. So basically what I did was I took some leftover wood that I had, and I basically made like I guess you could call it like a brace to put the shelf on. I had to go to Home Depot, and I bought, I think it was an 8-foot piece of plywood. Don't remember what type of wood it was, but it was about 8 feet, and then I cut it down. I don't remember the dimensions inside of here. It's a little bit less than 8 feet. So it worked out perfect because I only had to cut off a little bit. Cut it off, and then I actually put 2 of them together. That way I could make it a little bit more sturdy, because some of these speakers are pretty heavy. The JTR speakers are pretty heavy. And then I took another piece of wood that I had just lying around that I never use, and I cut that, and then I mounted it to the shelf to kind of give me a little bit more space. And as far as, if I review some center channel speakers that are really long. So that's what I did. Got some acoustic treatment. There was a shelf here that I had to take down for like hangers and stuff. But it's pretty simple. Didn't require a lot of work. Didn't require a whole lot of time. But, you know, and I had to do some prep work. I put some Govee lights in here. I need to actually put some more lights in here. I tried to extend. I had bought some 100-foot LED lights from Govee, and then I cut them, and then I tried to extend it so I could go on the corner, and the top part's not working. Anyways, this is basically what it looks like right now. I don't really care about how it looks because it's going to be behind the screen. It's going to be the screen, and then there's going to be curtains on both sides. So I don't really care about how this looks. I'm not trying to make this look pretty. I'm not trying to make in here look pretty. I did paint it black. I do have a black backing for the Seymour screen that I have. And I do have it. It's out in the living room. It's still boxed up. I haven't unboxed it because I had to do a bunch of prep work in here first. So I'm going to try to work on that this weekend. Hopefully, I don't know if it's going to happen. Got some other stuff to do. But this is what it looks like. So all this is going to be covered up. You're not going to see any of this stuff. I did a little bit of touch-up painting. I had to take the curtains down that I have on there now. I had to take the curtains down. And then I had some black velvet behind the curtains that I took down. So I did all that, took all that down this morning. And now pretty much what I need to do is I need to put the curtains back up because the curtains are only going to go here. So the screen is going to be 110 inches. So I went from 100 inches, and originally I was just going to stick with 100 inch, another 100 inch screen. But the guys at Seymour were like, hey, why don't we see if we can get you the biggest screen possible? And I'm like, well, I don't think I can go bigger than 100 inches because my room is only 10 feet wide. Well, they're like, well, let's take some measurements. So took some measurements and come to find out I was able to go to 110 inch. So basically, it's pretty much, obviously it's not the same size because 100 inch to 110 inch, that's a big difference, 10 inches. Basically, it goes a little bit wider on both sides in between my left and right speakers, and then it goes down just a little bit from where I had it before. So it will give me a little bit more real estate. The only thing I'm worried about is there may be a little bit of an overlap for the front row when I have people over. So you may be able to see a little bit of their heads. I tried to measure it, and I think I'm good, but I don't know yet because I haven't actually hung it. So I'm not really too concerned about that because this room is for me. So when friends come over, they'll just have to deal with it if you're sitting on the second row. But yeah, so all this is going to be covered up. It's pretty much done. I just need to put the curtains back up. Curtains up, and then I need to actually assemble the Seymour Screen Excellence. And I did get masking panels. So I'm super excited about that because now I won't have to deal with black bars. You know, for movies that are alternating aspect ratio from 16:9 to IMAX, I'll probably just leave them off. But for movies that I know are like 2:3:5 or 2:3:5 to 1 or 2:4:0, I'll just put them on there, and that'll give me that perceived contrast. I won't see the black bars, so that's really cool. I'm really excited about that. So, yeah, what else is happening? I got some new Valencia chairs that I'm going to have to set up. I'm starting to run out of room because I'm trying to sell one of my other Valencia chairs. Haven't sold them yet, so I'm going to have to figure out where to put those other ones once I get the other ones in. So the Tuscany editions that I have now, those are going to be moving to the front row. And then I have two of the Monzas. Those are going to go in the second row because those I think are a lot, not a lot, but they're taller than the Tuscanys. And I don't want it to block the screen. So I have that. What else do I have going on? Not a whole lot. I do have some other stuff to do. A lot of videos to catch up on since I've been doing the home theater tours. Hopefully you guys have been doing that. I have one more video to do. By the time you're watching this, you probably have already seen it. But that's pretty much it. Oh, so let me tell you what's going to happen. So right now, this is my Arendal 1723S monitor. So I have 3 of these, obviously, if you watch the channel. Right now, this is going to be my main setup. But as I said before, I need to review the JTR 210 HT. So right now they're sitting out in the living room. They're probably going to stay there after I finish reviewing it in here, just because I only have 3 of them and I have way more space out there for them. But before I assemble the screen, I'm going to move this center channel out, bring the 210 HT in here. That way when I assemble the screen, all I have to do is hang it up and it'll already be here. I may just push this over to the side and leave it there. That way I don't have to move it back out. But this is going to be my main setup. So I don't think I have my tape measure here anywhere around, but I basically measured the height of the shelf to just go right above the screen, or the screen materials. So it'll go right above the frame, the masking, the black frame. This, as far as I really wanted to get everything on an even plane, and it pretty much is. It's really close. But due to the size of the screen, where the bottom of the screen is, I didn't want the center channel speaker to be like halfway down and have the frame in the middle. So I just moved it just right up to where it's right above the frame, of the border of the frame. And then it's basically the screen material, I think, is going to stop like right here, or a little bit lower than that. So it's probably going to be about right here, the screen. Now, in relation to my left and right speakers, I measured it earlier. I want to say these were 52 inches. And I think the top, so from the floor to the top of the left and right speakers is like 52 inches. The top from the bottom to the top of the speaker of the center channel is like 55 or 56. So it's really, really close. So I don't think I'm going to hear the audible difference. Originally, I had this shelf higher, about 6 more inches. And so the center channel was going to be like up here. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. So I had to work within my limitations, but I really think that this is, I don't think I'm going to hear a perceivable difference in the 5 or 6 inches. Plus, if I run room correction, most of that stuff can fix that. So I am getting some new subwoofers. I'm getting some Mag Theatron Hammer 15s. So those are going to go in the front. And I'll probably talk a little bit more about that when I actually get them. Those are going to go on the front. I'm going to lay them flat. I have 2 of them. And then my Starke Sound SW15Ps, I'm probably going to put them actually behind the screen. So the Mag Theatron subwoofers will be in front of the wall. They won't be in the closet because they're really long. They're really tall, so that's why I have to lay them flat. The Starke Sounds will be just right behind that, and they'll be right here in the center, and that way, I can move them there, and I can save some space for the front row, if people want to recline. And then I think that's probably going to be it for this part 1. Like I said, it's not a whole lot to talk about. It's not anything fancy, but I did want to give you guys an update and show you guys what I'm actually doing, what it actually looks like. So if you've seen the videos, you know what it looks like in here. When I do movie reviews and everything, this is what it looks like behind. I've got holes and stuff there from previous stuff that I was doing. I'm not going to try to fix it because it's going to be covered up. I don't care, because it's going to be behind the screen. No one's ever going to see it in a video or when friends or family come over. But I think that's all the updates for this. Oh, and I still have my Arendal 1723. If you're in Houston and you want to buy it, I'm trying to sell it because I don't have room for it. Once I get the other subs, this thing has to go. I would keep it. I just literally don't have room for it. It's massive and it's stinking heavy. I hate moving this thing. Absolutely hate trying to move this thing. But as for now, it goes right in here. I turn it sideways and it fits perfect, and it works. But I do need to get rid of it because I just don't have the space anymore for it. So if you're in Houston and you want to buy it, I'll give you a really good price on it. But I think that's going to be it for part 1 of this video. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel so you don't miss any of the updates. Probably the next part 2 is probably going to be once the screen is actually up and hung. And I will probably do a review on that But yeah, I'm super excited because now I'm actually going to have my center channel behind the screen. You won't see it. And even though I never had any issues with it sounding like it was below the screen before, now it's just going to really sound like, you know, when people are talking, it's going to sound like it's coming directly from the screen, from behind the screen. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.